Hello, everyone. I'm Suhana, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Good Firms Leaders Roundtable podcast. Now, the last year has been amazing for us because we added around 92% listeners for our podcast. And for someone doing this in a technological sector, I think that is an amazing number to achieve. So while that is great, we have some amazing things lined up for our audience and for the businesses listed on our platform. We have some interesting things, interesting campaigns. So please keep an eye on our social media pages. And coming back to this very episode, we are in conversation with Shahir Khan. He is the CEO and co-founder of an independent video production house called Anideos. So Shahir is a business leader and a strategist. And as I was going through his LinkedIn profile and I was also preparing myself for this episode about his vision, which says that he wants to create a safe place where artists' craft is respected and developers' code is appreciated. So, firstly, Shahir, welcome to our podcast.
Thank you so much for that warm introduction. I am very blessed and I feel great to be here. And I do have to say, I have been following your journey, and I think what you have achieved in such a short span of time is truly remarkable. And I am incredibly grateful to be here. Also, my name is Shahir Khan, yes. And a lot of people, because I'm usually operating in the American industry, and I've lived in the UK for about a couple of years. And because they couldn't really pronounce my name, so you'll find some confusion with my name. So I've made it
Yeah.
easy. You can refer to me as Sherry Khan.
Okay. So I was really intrigued to know that what is the story behind the vision? Because as I said, that you aim to create a safe space where an artist's craft is respected and a developer's code is appreciated. So is there a story behind that vision or anything that you would like to share with our audience?
Absolutely. This sparked in me at a very early age where I really started enjoying watching people really love what they're passionate about. So, and I'm really talking about any sort of art, whether it's painting, whether it's singing, whether it's acting. I have been an artist myself. As a kid, I used to draw and
Mm-hmm.
paint a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been very, very fascinated with God's nature. If you notice, as a kid, when you start drawing, what's the first thing that you draw? You draw mountains, you draw
Oh, yeah.
trees, you draw
Yeah.
sun. So I think every artist draws a lot of inspiration
Mm.
from the one who's created all of this. And then as a kid, obviously, everybody loves to watch cartoons. I used to watch cartoons not because of the story or because how funny it was, but really because of the creativity that goes on behind it. And I wanted to learn animation, and I was born and raised in Karachi, Pakistan. That's
Mhm.
where I'm originally from.
Mhm.
And I was born and I've been raised in a family which really respects art, and they really give you that absolute freedom.
Mhm.
So I wanted to travel to UK to
Mhm.
pursue my studies. And that was the time when my father was like, Sherry, why don't you pursue something in business instead of arts?
Mhm.
And if you're really passionate about arts, it's always
Mhm.
going to come back to you.
Mhm.
So I listened to my dad. I pursued my education. I went to UK. I completed my bachelor's from Anglia Ruskin University. I did my international business management, nowhere close to arts.
Mhm.
And then I started my master's in MS economics, but I dropped out. I didn't
Mhm.
really finish it because by that time I was like, I want to do something. I wasn't really sure if it's going to be an animation studio. At one point in my life, I also wanted to be the best graphic designer. So it's not necessarily just animation. Or now when we talk about development, because my company, it mainly is catering to two separate services, animation and development. The reason why I got to development is because I
Mhm.
think in every day, whatever you're doing, whether you're watching an animation or you're using a mobile app or going to a website or
Mhm.
using your Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is, I think if you've got beautiful colors there, they really calm you down there. So with that, I did not finish my master's. I kept on working in the UK in different. So I worked at a bank. I've done all kind of odd jobs. I've tried to do different things. I've tried to start different businesses, and I am very proud to say that I have failed in
Mm.
many businesses. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I knew something needs to be done in IT because I I always loved gadgets, and
Mhm.
B, I knew that within Pakistan, Pakistan's market is not as big
Mm.
as the global market.
Mm.
And the only way to touch the global market is going to be through the IT industry.
Mm.
So then I joined an IT company. There I learned about websites, I learned about animations, I learned about mobile applications, and then came COVID-19.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I, along with 45 other people, we were basically laid off. And at that time, my brother, who is my partner, who's also the COO of the company, his name's Harris Khan, he had been serving this industry for the last 14 years. So
Mhm.
I was like, I have a huge experienced guy right
Mm.
next to me, someone that I can trust. And
Mm.
then there's 46 people that are out there that are looking for a job. I have always been wanting to start my own company.
Mm.
And in those 46 people, I knew that I have this animation team who may not be that big, but their vision is absolutely brilliant.
Mm.
We have connected on many different levels. I'm talking about my animation head. His name
Mm.
is Vikash. He's a very good friend of mine. And while we were hunting for jobs, I offered to open up the company and for them to work over here.
Mhm.
And that's how this company came into existence.
Mhm.
Now, when I opened up this company, I was only 25 years old. I had the exposure. I had saved up a little bit of my own money. And then I knew that I am working alongside the right people. And since then, I have only been passionately driving me for creating beautiful, mesmerizing art pieces, working with international clients like Roche Pharmaceuticals,
Mm.
Stanford University, Colgate Palmolive, Kraft Heinz, and some government agencies of the US government. So
Mm.
we work for the US Air Force and we work for Department of Defense. And honestly, a guy who started with nothing, having had the pleasure of working with these esteemed clients and on government projects, I
Mm.
just couldn't be any more grateful. And I think my mission for this company is that I want to create an absolute masterpiece of art that can be remembered long after I am gone. So people
Mm.
could just look at something beautiful and be like, you know what, that was in by Anideos, Sherry. So
Mm.
just that. Not really. I think money is something that you make in the process, which I have been doing. And I mean, yes, that's a necessity. And fame is something that everyone's looking for. But I think it really has to do a lot with the arts.
Mm.
So yeah, I'm just on a journey, and here we are. So that's a small
Mhm.
recap of what I have gone through.
Okay. So, Shay, I have been so inspired by your journey because you started with your mission of, following art, or we have that notion that, when you want to do something in art, so you have to really go behind studying art or, pursuing those fields. But I really like how your parents supported you throughout this journey, and you went to the IT field but with a vision to like create better art. I don't know many people who has that kind of vision, which is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
So you've been working for a long time with different organizations, right from being an employee to being an employer, and you've had experience of working in different types of environments, in different deadlines, and with different clients and their expectations. So how does Anideos prioritize time management with so many clients that the company has worked over the years?
Okay, so that's a great question. In fact, that has been a challenge that I had been facing in the early days of me starting this organization. And it came to a point where I was taking so much stress about delivering this, making sure everything's on time. And when you're starting something and you're in the early stages, you cannot afford to really create any bad reputation because
Hmm.
that's going to stay with you for a very
Hmm.
long time. So
Hmm.
that was my main concern. And honestly, I don't know, it was just this day when it clicked to me that the answer to your question is you tell the truth to the clients. You be
Mm,
truthful and honest about everything that you're doing. And
mm,
at least the people that I worked with, yes, they have tested me, they have tested my skills, but I have been very lucky. I've been blessed. Every single client that I have gotten, I have worked with people from all across the world,
mm,
and I cannot thank them enough for being so understanding, only
mm,
because I was honest and truthful about things.
mm,
There are delays, there are things that can happen, and especially when I started, it was back in COVID-19. So a lot of companies were closing down when I was in the expansion mode.
mm,
And it was only because I did not have a plan B. It was
mm,
the only plan that I needed to work for. And I needed to make sure that this becomes successful because I don't have a choice.
mm.
So yeah, I think being truthful and being honest to your clients, it really goes a very long way.
And I don't know if I've read this somewhere or I've had this conversation with other founders on our podcast. So, as you said, that there are delays, there are things that can go up and down. So, if you're truthful, they also understand that, oh, okay, so if there's an issue, maybe we'll publish this tomorrow instead of today, right?
Absolutely. And you know what? Sometimes it may seem like the client is trying to pressurize you,
Hmm.
but I think in the short run, being truthful may not be the best way to go about it.
Hmm.
But in the long run, eventually, you're only going to be earning that respect, that reputation in front of your client. And the
Hmm.
client can only be understanding in the long run and be like, you know what, at least they were truthful about it. And if I
Hmm.
would have gone anywhere else, these would have been the circumstances that I would have faced.
Hmm.
So, yes, let's just keep on working with these guys. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And for this episode, we're going to cover a lot of things like how does Sherry balances creativity, client demands, challenges that Anideos has faced. So people listening to us, they really want to stick to the very end because this is going to be fun and informative. So, Sherry, you said that creating a safe place for artists and developers is very important for you, and that is the vision that you follow at Anideos, at the other companies that you've been managing. So, with that, I think an artistic freedom is very important. So, can you share an example where, like artistic freedom played a crucial role in a project?
Absolutely, sure. So I'm gonna prolong this answer a little bit, give you a little bit
Sure.
of background,
Yeah.
because I have literally done any kind of job that you can think of, any kind of odd job,
Mm-hmm.
and I have been at the bottom of
Mm-hmm.
the hierarchy, and I feel very proud that I have been there because that is something that has helped me understand that me as a CEO or the co-founder of the company, I am not above my team. I'm not below my team either. I am with them. And
Mm-hmm.
if I act that way,
Mm-hmm.
everyone's only gonna feel more comfortable. And because my company, the workforce that I have, it's all about arts, it's all about code. So they really need that freedom. And
Mm-hmm.
I only understand it because I have been in situations
Mm-hmm.
where my bosses or my employers have really put a lot of pressure on me, only come in and realize that it's not helping out. And I keep on focusing on that. In terms of a project, that how did this artistic freedom affect positively into a project that made the client happy?
Mm-hmm.
So there was this project. I had a client of mine. I'm not taking any names of the clients because of the
Sure.
different NDAs that I have signed.
Yeah.
So there was
Yeah.
this music artist that I was working with, and his idea was, so he's like, Sherry, you're an artist. I'm an artist. I'm an
Mm,
artist who writes lyrics, and I'm a rapper. He was a rapper. He's like, Sherry, I want to create a music video with you, but I don't know what the visuals are going to be like. Now,
mm,
listen to my song and hear the story. His song was all about issues in his life. And me, as a person who would be creating an animated video on that song, I had to make sure that I portray the right image. So he was talking about relationship issues, financial issues,
mm,
drug issues, family, and there are some issues, I don't know the exact word for it, but as you grow from a boy to a man, there's a lot of pressure on you to start
mm,
making money. Otherwise, the society does not respect you.
mm,
So with him, he was facing all of these issues, my client, the rapper, the artist. And he's like, Sherry, what's going to be the concept of this video? And how are you going to show me fighting through all of these issues? And in the end, me turning from a boy to a man. First thing I asked him is, how much time do we have? So he's like, Sherry, we have a year. I'm like, okay, a year is good. That's more than enough. So we created his animated character in 3D that looked
Mm,
exactly like him. So we had to copy all of his tattoos, his
mm,
beard style, his piercings, the kind of clothes that he wears. We created his realistic looking 3D model.
mm,
And then we wanted him to be sitting we wanted him to be in his bedroom where
mhm,
he's laying on his bed, he's trying to sleep, but he cannot sleep, and he's got a little bit of a tear in his eye. Now, for the artistic vision, we only had two shades of light in that room. In fact, in the entire video,
mhm,
we only had two shades of light, which was red and blue. Now, the camera focuses on the guy. You can clearly see as a viewer that he's struggling to sleep. And then he's got this tear in his eye. That
mm,
tear, and
mm,
as soon as the teardrop falls off in slow motion, we're trying to show that the guy has slept. But as soon as he sleeps, his bed splits open
mhm,
from the middle and he's falling down. So we're trying to show that he slept. Now he's going into his dream.
mm,
He falls down, and when he's falling down, we're showing some really hypnotic, psychedelic visuals there because
mhm,
it's all within the brain, right? The
mm,
fight is all within the brain. So he's falling into a no man's land. He keeps on falling in slow motion for a little bit, only coming to realize that he has landed in a place where there's some tall buildings, and then there's some statues there. That's where the song starts. Now he's got these two swords in his hands. These two swords are apparently something that he is very known for. So he bought it off of an auction for close to $1 million, and he was very famous for owning those two swords. So we created the 3D model of those swords as well. He had these two swords in front of him, and now when the song starts, he's jumping up and down like a ninja, like a
mm,
samurai jack. He's literally jumping from one building to another, and all of the statues that there are, we tried to show these statues as his issues in his life. So
mhm,
relationship issues had a statue of a guy and a girl, and the drug issues had a statue of a syringe. So
mhm,
money issues really had a statue of a starving man, and all of these statues were there, which he had to go in and he had to break these statues. And once the song ends, he comes out of his dream, and now the viewers can see that he's still laying on his bed, he's sleeping, but he's got that peace, that calm in his on his face, and there are no more tears.
mm,
So this was a video concept that we came up with. He absolutely loved it. We were able to finish this project in less than a year, so he
mhm,
absolutely loved that fact as well.
mhm,
And since then, he has been referring us to the music video clients. And since then, music video animation wasn't really something that I was actively seeking out for. But now we have an influx of people who are coming in to seek out the music video animations. And again, I just cannot be more blessed to have people reach out to me for
mm,
something that I wasn't even actually seeking out for.
mm.
So yeah, uh,
Yeah.
and I think again, when I was working on this project, there was a time when I was like, I may need more than a year because there's something that I'm trying. I haven't done it before.
Mm,
Then I just need your patience to be with me. But by
mm,
that time, I had given him the concept. I had showed him half of the things. He was already happy. He's like,
mm,
Sherry, I trust your artistic freedom, and you can take your time. And
mm,
still, we were able to execute it within the time. So yeah, this is just one of those examples where
mhm,
artistic freedom had helped me. And a, a big hats off to my team, a big hats off to the client for allowing us that freedom.
mm.
And the project turned out to be amazing.
I'm actually watching the video as you explained it to us. And first of all, it's so cool that you worked on a music video. And secondly, the video turned out really amazing because it was exactly
Thank
how you
you.
envisioned.
Thank you so much. Your insights and your perspective. I think I'm a little curious to know because everything that I'm saying, you're instantly able to grasp it. So, a question from me to you: do you have an artistic background?
Actually, I do not have an artistic background. So, like my journey is a lot similar to you because I always had that creative instinct because I have been part of, like various sort of writings and animations when I was in school, but as every other kid, I also, went and did my degree and all of that. But I always
Same life
have
story.
a, yeah, so I always have a knack of creativity and that artistic touch to everything that I do. And apart from work, I also like to paint. So whenever there's a thing, whenever there's an art piece or something, I just try to figure out how is it done, like what are the process that it has gone through so that it could come to life
Okay.
so beautifully.
But yeah, I can tell you have a very keen eye for the arts, and I think every human has it.
As you like tell about your idea to your clients, so there have been many instances with you where communicating your original idea and the client idea may be something different. So how do you find a middle ground, or how do you like bridge the gap between those two?
So initially, in the early days of me speaking to my clients about and giving them amazing ideas and realizing that they don't appreciate the time and effort and the conceptualization that I have, because he's like, you know what? No, let
Hmm.
me tell you something else. Let me give you my concept, which is amazing. And he comes up with a concept which is really like tried 200 times and failed by other companies, and he's taking that as a concept.
Hmm.
So that has been one of the challenges. But now I tell myself that if their concept, or if they were able to execute it so flawlessly, they wouldn't have been able to seek my help.
Hmm.
And now if they're here, and if they don't like my idea, it's probably because A, it's not good,
Hmm.
B, I'm not presenting it in the right manner. Now,
Hmm.
if it's not good, I need to accept it. Not everything that I say has to be perfectly on point. I can be
Hmm.
wrong. And B,
Hmm.
if I'm not presenting it right, then, well, you know what? I have a competitive edge. I'm
Hmm.
running an animation studio. It doesn't always have to be all words and no visuals. So
Hmm.
if I have a concept that I personally think is going to really surpass everyone in my client's industry, and if
Hmm.
they're not buying it only because my words are not enough to convince them, then I need to put in a little more work, a little more hours, a little more effort, put something there, make it visual, and show it to them.
Hmm.
So, not just words. If I can convince my client by putting in extra hours that, hey, you know what? I gave you the idea, you didn't like it. We're pursuing with your idea, but while we're doing it, I've just prepared us a little something for you to view. And if you
Hmm.
don't like it, no worries, we're still continuing with your idea anyway.
Hmm. Hmm.
There have been times when I have started the work on a storyboard. A storyboard is something, a story you only get at the storyboard when the concept has been finalized.
Hmm.
And the concept of a video is the most important thing.
Hmm.
So if I'm working on a storyboard, and if I'm presenting him with a new storyboard with my concept, that essentially means that I am wasting my own money, which the client would not be paying me. So I have to be very careful
Hmm.
if that idea is even worth it. And if I think it's worth it, and I have done it in certain occasions, while we're working on a storyboard, we show a new storyboard and be like, hey, you know what do you think about this? It's the same idea that I had presented to him previously, which he had denied. And now, looking at the storyboard, he's like, this is absolutely brilliant. Where
Hmm.
did you come up with this idea? This is new. I've never heard of this before. I'm like, no, this came in 2 weeks ago, but it was only words. It's just that it's a
Hmm.
storyboard now, so you're liking it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is a little challenging, but
Hmm.
again, you need to have that trust, that faith in yourself, and if you have that, go an extra mile,
Hmm.
prove it to him.
Hmm.
And if it's really worth it, the person who's spending the money would obviously like to have a better quality in exchange of their money. So why
Hmm.
not? It's
Yeah.
just that it has to be presented the right way.
Hmm.
So yeah.
Sherry, as a creative person, you will obviously stick by the fact that to nurture your creativity of whatever you work you're doing, you need to have some hobbies or activity which you find true joy from so that you can keep doing your work. So, what are those hobbies or activities for you outside of your professional life?
The a standard answer to your question could be like, I really love swimming. I like spending time with my family. I recently became a father, so I love spending time with my
Yeah.
son. And I think my best friend all throughout my life has been my mother. And I love spending time with my mother. I love to travel. Last time I traveled to Maldives.
Oh, wow.
And it was great. We went deep sea diving with baby sharks, and when the shark was coming close to me, although it was very small, it doesn't have to sound horrific. It was really small, but like we've seen in the movies as kids, when the shark is approaching you, it's gonna take my hand away. It's gonna take my feet away.
Yeah.
And I think coming across your fears, everybody has fears. If you are spending time outside of your office and if you're making sure that your soul is being satisfied by different things, I think you're being more productive at work.
Talking about your company, like where do you see Anideos in the next 5 years, and how do you envision the company's role in shaping the future of the industry? Because I've not seen an IT company work in a music video, or not just regular videos which are used in company's website or maybe testimonials, not that, but you cover a lot of things. So how do you see the company role in shaping the future of the animated industry?
So another thing that you're going to be seeing by the end of 2024, by November, is that we will be releasing a 70-minute animated movie that we're working for one of our clients. So this is like a standard movie that we would see on Netflix, a kids animation movie. So I don't necessarily have an eye for a certain type of projects because my vision is really only for the respect of arts. So this movie that I'm talking about, this is a guy, the movie is on his life. Why am I doing it? Because I loved the script. That's it. Otherwise, obviously, we keep on getting requests for different movies and that they would want to work for. And I obviously would not want to associate myself or my company with a project that we're not proud of. So anything that allows my artistic freedom to really express myself in the most dynamic manner is what I am aiming for. Last but not the least, with the advancements in technology, I think you're going to run out of business if you're not studying it every day. So your research and development needs to be very strong. Next 5 years, where am I going to stand or where would I want to be? I would really want to be at a place where I have evolved myself in a manner with how AI and machine learning is shaping the future of the industry and making sure that I have the competitive advantage of the age of technology. And with that help, I am able to minimize my costs and able to deliver exceptional results. So that's where I want to be.
I really like the vision that you have for the next 5 years. And as an individual, I'm so excited for the movie that you'll be coming up with at the end of this year. Like so
Thank you. Thank you
amazing,
so
that's so
much.
amazing to find opportunities in areas which you've never, which you didn't even expect. Because I know the feeling that you didn't even expect to like work in movies or something, but to be even associated with it is so cool.
I am honored. It's a privilege. I
Mm.
never worked on movies. I mean, we create videos, yes, but when I say movie, I am referring to a movie as a story that is going to engage or hook up a
Mm.
viewer for
Mm.
an hour. And hooking up a viewer for an hour is not an easy job.
Mm.
So, keeping that in mind, I have learned so much. And I have invested so much, not just in terms of hours, but I think it was important for me to invest in terms of money as well, only to let my client know that, hey, you know what? I'm serious about this. I will be making a lot of mistakes all along, but I want you to know that I will be learning. And my client always says this, and up till this date, we're actually working on the last scene now, which will be finished by March, and then the post-production phase comes in where we're going to refine all of these scenes. Till this date, he says, Sherry, my pleasure of working with you goes a very long way. And the fact that you're a rookie makes my movie stand out even more. And the reason for that is the execution of this movie may not be 10 on 10.
Mm.
But But that's what's exciting about it, because now you're able to focus more on the story, which means if you cannot watch this movie till the end, some people may blame the animation, but my client says, I would rather blame the story. That the
Mm,
story is not good enough because the animation is, yes, it's not like Disney or Pixar. You
mm,
guys are learning, and I can see that, yes, you guys have learned a lot, but the story has to be really powerful. So I like the fact that the animation is basic.
mm,
And if I can hook people up with this story, I'm going to consider that as my win.
mm,
And I was like, I don't know if he's trying to point out that I don't know how to work well, or if he's really trying to be genuine in his comments. But no, so far we've been working with him for over 2.5 years now, and it's been a great journey. So it's really these advancements, they keep on pushing you to achieve more and to learn more. So yes, we're always learning, and research and development is really important.
So, as a professional in the creative industry, what advice would you have for young people looking to make a mark in this industry, and what specific skills or qualities they should have?
So I am learning, I'm evolving. I have answered this question very differently about a year ago, and I'm going to answer this question very differently after a year. So for the viewers, I want them to know it's not that I'm giving different answers for the same question, but it's only because I'm learning. I'm
Mm,
learning every day. So my answer is changing. Yes, I can keep the same answer. I can go back to the same question. I can put the same answer, but no, the answer is changing. And the reason for that is I'm evolving. And to answer your question, I used to say you should have a plan B. Now, I am going to back out on that statement. And I am going to say, if you have a plan B, you're always going to lean on towards it.
mm,
So make sure that you have a plan A, and make sure that it works well. And you need to be very good with your finances. You need to have the forecasts. So if you're a startup and if you're going to open up a company, make sure that your costs are something that are calculated. You're not getting any costs that were unheard of, because
mm,
if you're in that situation, then you're not really able to manage the money well. And if you're not able to manage the money well, everything's going to go down the drain.
mm,
Second, it's important to maintain your reputation. So if you're going
mm,
to make any promises, make sure you fulfill them. If you're going to
mm,
make any promises to your employees, make sure you fulfill them. Why? Because the word gets out. And if you're not a man of your words, then people are very less likely to work with you.
mm,
So manage your money well, do not have a plan B, and you stick to your words.
mm,
These are three things. If you're taking it well, this can really help you go a very long way.
mm.
So yeah, that's what I'd like to add. So
Okay, that's amazing. And I personally would also like to, like use your advice and like move forward with that. So as we're nearing to the end of our conversation, we'd like to know that how has been your experience with our platform so far, or anything that we can work on to make your journey with us even better?
okay, I'm gonna give you a little bit of a detailed answer, if you don't mind.
Sure, sure.
So whenever I have any kind of podcast, I would do a little bit of research of them, get to know a little bit about their audience, and usually I would see automated audience. I don't know how that's generated, but I can clearly tell that it's automated audience, and people have been putting in a lot of effort. In your case, I would like to say that I gave this podcast very comfortably. So A, you were able to make me very comfortable as a host. So
Mm,
that's a huge hats off to you. In terms of improvement, I think you have made me comfortable enough that I would have been honest about it. But so far, you can either excuse my lack of experience
mhm.
in this regard, but I personally think that what you're doing is flawless. And
Thank you.
I genuinely mean it from the bottom of my heart, because you were very kind, you were very accommodating. So I'm saying this out of my heart. I cannot thank you enough for being so kind and humble with so much gratitude. So I just want to say that you're doing absolutely brilliant. And I think your journey in such a short span of time has really, truly been remarkable. I really mean it. And I think within no time, I would be seeing you somewhere where I would be proud and I would be telling people, hey, you know what? That's Suhana. I've been on her podcast. Go check out her links. So
Thank
yeah,
you. Thank you so much.
I genuinely pray that happens and I can see that happening. You have a lot of love and passion for what you're doing. And
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's needed, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. So thank you so much, Sherry, for such kind words. And also, I'm actually really thankful to Good Firms as well because I haven't really explored this podcast side before. And when I was given this opportunity, I thought it was really amazing to connect with people and know about their businesses, their industries, and actually bring these stories to the forefront because I don't think many companies are doing that in the technological sector.
this podcast was very humanistic. I think it was not robotic. And that credit genuinely goes to you because you, as a human being, were able to connect with me. So I'm surprised to hear that this is not something you've been doing all your life because you're very good at it. So, yes, please keep on doing it and you're very good. So, thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. It's been an honor. And I look forward to seeing this podcast and many more from you in future.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. And thank you so much for being on our show and, sharing about your journey and being so actually honest and, like opening up to the conversation that we had here. I'm sure that our audience learned a lot from it and actually enjoyed it as much as we enjoy talking to each other. And our conversation with Sherry Khan is available on Spotify, Google Podcast, and Amazon Music. So if you're listening to us, please let us know how did you like it. And we'll be back with another episode. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Sohana.